Why do I need to read in English? My students often ask me this. They think, I go to classes, I do my homework, I watch films in English. Why should I read books? Actually, reading is the best way to improve your English. I will tell you why. First, reading is very important. Not only did 1 in 4 people go to university, now more people go to university. All jobs require more reading and writing than years ago. This is true for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're an office worker or a mechanic. Second, reading will improve your speaking, writing, vocabulary, and grammar better than any other way. It won't improve your listening, but it will improve your vocabulary. And when you have a better English vocabulary, you can listen more easily and improve your listening that way. In school, you probably read lots of English. You probably read boring textbooks and stories with exercises at the end, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about reading for pleasure. That means reading a book you enjoy because you enjoy it. You are not reading because your teacher said, read this book. You are not reading because you think, I should read this book. You are reading because you want to. In the experiment in schools in America, they gave some boys free books. They were fun books, like James Bond. They said, you can do what you want. You don't have to read the books. But the boys did read the books. They read a lot of books. Some boys read a book every 2 days. After years, they gave the students a test. The students who got the books got better at reading and writing, and they liked school more. The students who did not get the books did not get better at reading and writing. Actually, some of them got worse. This isn't just true for native speakers. They also did an experiment on students learning English in the Fiji Islands. They tested 3 ways to teach. The first way was normal English teaching. They did grammar classes, exercises, and so on. The second way was reading in silence. The students read books in class. The third way was reading together. The teacher read books to the students. After 1 year, the 2 ways with reading were the best. They were much better than the students who did normal English classes. They did the experiment again in Singapore. There, the students who read in silence did very well. They did the best in grammar tests. Other students did grammar classes, but they did worse in grammar tests. In normal classes, we try to remember grammar and vocabulary. When we read, we learn them naturally. Maybe you're thinking, when I read in English, it's too hard. I have to use the dictionary all the time. It's boring. I can't do it. I understand. So, I wrote this book. I think this book will make you like reading because the stories are easy and fun. The early stories are short and easy, and the later stories are longer and harder. When you finish the book, you will think, wow, I did it. I make a podcast called English Listening Practice. 9 of the stories in this book I wrote for English Listening Practice. One of the stories I wrote for this book. But when I made this book, I made the stories better. Now, you can read the stories at beginner, pre-intermediate, intermediate, or advanced levels. The stories are all fairy tales. Some are very popular fairy tales, but some are not so popular. One of them, I wrote myself. Maybe you're thinking, fairy tales are for children. I need useful vocabulary. I need to learn about business and science. That can't be fun. Actually, the vocabulary in these stories will be useful. McQuillan did an experiment where he looked at vocabulary in novels. 80% of the words were on academic word lists. These are lists of words that you need to know to study at university. Rolls and Rogers also did an experiment. They said, if students read 1 million words of science fiction, will they learn important science words for studying at university? The answer was yes. So yes, fairy tales are useful for you too. But I understand if you still don't believe me. When I learned about all this, I found it hard to believe too. But I like to try new things, and I love learning languages. So, in 2017, I decided to do an experiment. I had wanted to learn Spanish for a long time, but I didn't learn much in normal classes. I said, I will read 1,000,000 words in Spanish. Afterward, I will see what my level is. 1,000,000 words is about 40 novels, so it was a lot of work. I started with very easy reading, like this book. Then I started reading translations of books that I knew in English. For example, I have read Harry Potter and Game of Thrones in English, so I read them in Spanish too. Finally, I read new books in Spanish. I read Latin American authors, that means writers such as Isabel Allende, Luis Jorge Borges, and Manuel Puig. I love them. I also listen to podcasts, but I always read the transcripts and added the words to my goal. After I finished reading 1,000,000 words, I wrote and talked to native speakers. I was at an intermediate level. I could understand almost everything I read. I could understand people when they spoke clearly, and I could have conversations. I had spent most of my time reading, not speaking. In 1 year, I learned more than most students learn in 2 years. I didn't try to remember grammar and vocabulary. I learned them naturally. Maybe you're thinking, I don't believe this. Or maybe you're thinking, wow, I'm going to read for hours every day. But I have to say something very important. You must read books that are easy and fun. If a book is too difficult or too boring, put it down and find another one. Stephen Krashen, an expert in language teaching, says, only read things in English that are fun and interesting. Read things that are really easy, that you wouldn't read in your native language because they are too easy. So, you can read comics, magazines, detective stories, romance stories, and so on. Don't feel bad about reading translations. If you read very easy books, when you see a word you don't know, you will understand the meaning easily. You won't have to use a dictionary. So, what is easy? Experiments show that you should understand at least 98% of the words in the text. 98%? That's so high, I know. But let me show you an example. Here's a text where 50% of the words are not real words, so you should understand 50% of the words. Jerry fleer Ed out of bed and opened the curtains. He bammed to himself as he made breakfast. He made coffee and put butter on his puffer. Someone called his phone and he picked it up. He was very surprised by who was tingling, so his inky fell on the floor. Is that easy to understand? Could you read a whole book of that? Here is the same text, but only 2% of the words are not real. So you should understand 98% of the words. Jerry jumped out of bed and opened the curtains. He sang to himself as he made breakfast. He made coffee and put butter on his toast. Someone called his phone and he picked it up. He was very surprised by who was calling, so his inky fell on the floor. How was that? You probably didn't understand everything, but it was more fun to read than the first text. That's why reading for pleasure is so great. Maybe you don't understand everything, but you understand enough to follow the story, and you don't have to pick up a dictionary. So, if you find that this book is too hard, read something easier. If you find it boring, read something more fun. I know that not everyone likes my writing, and that's okay. Find a book that is good for you. When we have fun, we learn much more. Because I want this book to be fun, it has no exercises in it. I thought about adding them after each story, but I don't think it's a good way to spend your time. Instead, you should read more, read for pleasure. If you finish this book, you can try the level above. Because you already read the stories, you will know them well, and it will be easier to understand. But maybe when you finish this book, you will love stories. I hope so. If you do want to read more, you can listen to my podcast, English Listening Practice. I write a new story every week with audio and text, and there are over 100 episodes for you to listen to. We can improve our English with such beautiful stories. Let's listen to this story. This will improve your English speaking skills unprecedentedly. Do you want to improve your English? Do you want to speak English more fluently? You see, the English language changed my life. I was born in Hong Kong, so English is not my first language. My first language is actually Cantonese. My second language is Mandarin, because my mother is from Taiwan, and my third language is English. So when I first immigrated to North America, I couldn't speak a word of English. And I know some of my fans have said that you're tuning into my videos because you want to learn how to speak the English language. I find that that's kind of interesting. So, today I want to share with you 5 steps to improve your English fluency. The 5 things that I did to learn the English language. Step number 1 to improve your English fluency. It's actually very simple, and that is, don't give a damn. That's right, don't give a damn. Speak whenever, wherever, however. It doesn't matter if you speak with an accent. I still speak with an accent, and I talk to tens of millions of people every single month. It doesn't matter. Forget how people would judge. Forget how people would think of you. All this stuff. It doesn't matter. Just speak as much as you could. If they don't understand you, say it again. If they don't understand you, say it again. You just keep saying it. I remember because I spoke with such a thick accent. I spoke like it sounded like Jackie Chan. I can still speak with some Chinese accent like, hey, yeah, this, then that, like that kind of stuff. But you just speak. You just speak as much as you could because that's how you get comfortable. You would not guess if you're always thinking about, oh, to understand a culture, to understand philosophies, you need to understand the language. So, when I learn the English language, then I also learn about a lot of other things about the culture, about business. Of course, that's what I do. So, language is not just that you use to communicate. Language is also something that you could train your mind with. So understand that. Step 4. Immersion. You have to immerse yourself. So when I was learning the English language, what I did is I would listen to music every single day. I would listen to English music, English songs, and try to sing along and just to learn it, right? It was very, very difficult, and I was listening to rap music, which is way too difficult. I gave that up, but I was watching English movies without subtitles, and I would listen. And at first, I wouldn't understand. I would understand maybe 5% of it, right? And then I would understand, I think, oh, that's what she means. And 10%, 20%. As my English improves, I noticed I would understand the movie more and more and more, right? So you have to immerse yourself. Talk in English, listen to English music, watch English movies. Do as much of that as you could. Naturally, you'll pick up the slang, you'll pick up certain stories or phrases, that kind of phrases. That's how you learn the English language. Then, you make it fun. So, it doesn't have to be, you have to sit down and study, oh, I'm studying the language. No, make it fun. Talk to people who speak English, right? Like, interact, connect, read, watch, listen. That's how you get good. That's how I got good. Step number 5, to improve your English fluency. And that is to hang out with people who speak English. Like, I know it sounds so obvious, but that's how you do it. I remember in college, you will see these groups of people, and I would see the Chinese students only hang out with Chinese students. I would see the Korean students hang out with Korean students and Japanese students hang out with Japanese students, right? And I would do the opposite. I would go and hang out with people who speak English. I would hang out with Caucasians. I would hang out with people who grew up locally, who speak perfect English, and I would just talk and hang out. We go to the library, and I would try to talk as much as possible. Listen, ask questions, right? To get comfortable. And another thing that I did was I got a Korean girlfriend who speaks English, right? So that's another way to do it. So I'm not saying that's the only way to learn, but if you want to learn a new language, take who speaks the language. You'll be shocked how quickly you pick that up, right? How quickly you can pick up the language. Let me give you a bonus tip, a bonus step if you want it. Okay? Step number 6, and that is going into a state of overlearning. Let me explain. If you are thinking about, let's say, learning a language, let's say you're here and you want to get to this good, the fastest way to get to this good is you actually go into a state of overlearning. Let's take an exercise example, okay? If you want to have a stronger bicep, let's say you're only doing your curl. You can only hypothetically lift 20 bar, right? That's much of strength you have. If you want to make that 20 lb, easy to better lift that up, guess what? Train with 25 lb, train with 30 lb. That's an over-preparation, over-learning, that's what I mean, right? You want to stay over-learning. So what I did, because I'm in business, right? Not only learning the English language, I was learning how to sell, how to close, how to do marketing. So not only just the English language day-to-day basis to communicate, but actually at a way higher level where there's something to lose, where it's not just learning the basic day-to-day communication, but also there's money involved, right? How I became a fluently English speaker alone. Now, I'm sure that you have had moments in your learning where you have felt like you progressed very quickly. It comes easily. You're motivated, it's fun, but at some point, you hit a wall and you feel like you'll never speak fluently, confidently, and naturally. You are not alone. This feeling of being stuck is often called the intermediate plateau, and I've been there. It can be a comfortable place. You can speak and understand in many situations, but for most of us, it's not enough. We want to enjoy the language as freely as we do our mother tongue, as a native. I've never had the experience of learning English as a second language, so I want to bring you an expert who has successfully done it here at Real Life English. And if you listen to our podcast, chances are you have already heard me on there, but today, I'm here to tell a little bit of my story and how I went from speaking zero English to the level of English I have today. I'm just like you, I'm an English learner myself, and I had to learn English from scratch in my country, here in Brazil. I've never been abroad, so I'm going to tell you how I did it. And hopefully that's going to give you some ideas and inspiration for your English journey. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell down below, because every week we put out videos to help you speak English with confidence and naturally. So, now, let's get started. So, my story with English began when I was 15 years old, and as I told you, I come from Brazil, and at that time, I knew zero English. You know, I couldn't speak anything, I couldn't read, I couldn't write, but at 15, something magical kind of happened, because I started to have this desire to become bilingual. I don't know exactly why that was, but the idea of using two languages to communicate, to express myself, was very attractive to me. And I remember also that I looked around me, I saw my family, my friends, my social circle, and I realized that no one knew English. So I started to associate also the idea of knowing English with having a better life or having school. He took an English course, and he was really helpful because I talked to him, and he was kind enough to lend me his old course books, because every semester his school would change the books. So the books that he wouldn't use anymore, he would lend them to me. So that's how I started. I started by studying with old course books from my friend and a grammar book that he had lent me. Foreign studying by myself with those old books, And I remember that I was really fascinated because English was always interesting to me. I always loved the language, but I was then actively studying it, right? I mean, I was reading stuff in English, I was copying stuff from the book that I saw, and I was already very excited because I was using another language to write or to communicate or to express myself. My speaking was really, really bad at that time, So I couldn't speak yet, even though I grew up kind of watching movies with my parents in English and listening to music in English as well. I didn't have my speaking skills. So, developed yet. I remember that I would try to read stuff out loud from the books that I was studying with, and it was a disaster because, the words wouldn't flow. I had no idea how to pronounce certain words. Words, for example, low, labdo, It was really bad and frustrating, but I kept going because at the end of the day, that was all I did for pretty much 3 years, from 15 to 18. Most of the time, I would study with books, and that was the first mistake I made, and I'm here to tell you this because I took way too much time, too long to start speaking. You don't want to do that. And at that time, 20 years ago, it was much more difficult to find people to practice my speaking with. So I just studied with books at that time. But nowadays, we have so many more cool resources, like apps. And speaking of apps, I can tell you about the Real Life English app, as you probably know. And with the app, you can have conversations with people from all around the world at the touch of a button. Plus, you can listen to our podcast there, and with the transcripts, it's just amazing. So, if you haven't downloaded the app yet, make sure you do that. Because, that is one of the resources that, for example, I wish I had when I was learning English and trying to improve my speaking 20 years ago. Music. But then, something magical happened in my life when I turned 18. I started working, and I have to say that my work experience, the jobs that I've had in my life, they were crucial in my English development, especially the speaking and the listening skills. Let me explain. My first job was at a drugstore, and I worked as a cashier there, but there was something interesting about that drugstore, because that peers, they would see me at lunchtime kind of eating and studying at the same time. So, pretty quickly, I became the English guy at the drugstore. So, every time a foreign customer came in, I was the one to be called. Hey, Chicago, there's a foreign person there, a foreign customer, go help that person. Then I would go there and then speak in English with those people and try to help them out, right? I remember one time, it was kind of funny, I was at the cash register and I was talking to this American customer. She was a lady. And then, I was trying to talk to her in English and explain to her that I had never been abroad and everything, but I was still learning the language. And then I said, "Oh yeah, I've never been abroad." And then she kind of stopped me. And then she said, "Oh, I think you mean abroad." And I was like, "Oh, abroad. Oh, thank you very much for the correction. I appreciate that." So, that was, one example, of how having these little interactions with these customers helped me because, sometimes I would say something wrong, like abroad, and then the person would help me by correcting me. And I had many of these small interactions at that time that were really useful. And this is another tip that I can give you. Be open to correction, because if somebody corrects your English or your pronunciation or the way you use a word, this is actually great. for speaking to Americans on the phone 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, for a year. So, that in a way, it was my version of living abroad, you know. It was my version of having an exchange program, because I was really speaking to natives for a year. Yeah, and that really helped me with my speaking skills and my listening skills. But it's important to mention that I only got that job because I already knew English enough to get that job. So all those years that I spent before, working and studying and learning paid off because those years allow me to get this job, and then I improved even more. So, here's what I have to say to you. Keep learning, keep developing yourself, and start looking for job opportunities that allow you to use your English on a daily basis, because then you're going to improve even more. And between those jobs, that was actually the moment when I really started to create my own immersion in English now, because I was already kind of using English on my daily routine there at work, and then I was really serious about it. Like, everything I made sure that I did in English. So, watching movies in English series, listening to music, I love rock and roll, for example. So, I always listened to my favorite bands in English, and with my very first paychecks, actually. That's what I did. We didn't have Netflix at that time or streaming services, so I actually would go to media to learn English. By the way, if you want to learn or to know my exact step-by-step process that I used to improve my English with movies and TV series, let us know in the comments. Maybe I can make another video in the future for you, explaining how I did it. All right, finally, there is one weird thing that happened in my life that really helped me take my English to the next level, and that was becoming an English teacher. I started teaching English at 21 years old, so it's been 14 or 15 years now already. And I have to say that teaching English and helping people with their English was actually an experience that really helped me master the English language to a whole another level because, when you teach, it's like you are learning again, Because if I have to teach a class or help someone, I have to prepare, right? I have to study the topic myself. I have to be familiar with the topic. I have to think of different ways to explain things, to give examples. And that mental process really helps me better understand the topic, so then I can explain that to my students. So it's a win-win. If you teach somebody, you win because you are kind of revising information and studying it again, and the other person is also benefiting because the person is learning new stuff with you.
Improving your English involves consistent practice in speaking, reading, writing, and listening. Start by learning new vocabulary daily and using it in conversations. Focus on correct pronunciation and grammar, which can be achieved by listening to native speakers and practicing regularly. The more you immerse yourself in the language, the faster you will gain fluency and confidence. English is very important. Many people around the world speak English. If you can speak English well, you can talk to many people, make new friends, get a good job, and travel to different countries. So, how can you improve your English speaking? First, you need to practice every day. Practice is very important. When you practice, you get better. You can practice with your friends, family, teacher, or alone. You can talk to yourself in English, saying, "Hello, how are you? I am fine, thank you." This is a good way to start. Second, listen to English every day. Listening is also very important. When you listen, you learn new words, how to say the words, and how to make sentences. You can listen to English songs, watch English movies, listen to English radio, and watch English TV shows. You can also listen to people who speak English by going to places where people speak English, listening to them, and learning. Third, read English books. Reading is very good for learning English. When you read, you learn new words and how to make sentences. You can read easy books, children's books, newspapers, magazines, and anything in English. When you read, you should read out loud. This will help you with your speaking. You can also read with a friend and read to each other. This is a good way to practice. Fourth, write in English. Writing is also good for learning English. When you write, you learn how to make sentences. You can write a diary in English, write about your day, letters to your friends, emails, and stories. When you write, you should try to use new words. This will help you learn new words. Fifth, do not be afraid to make mistakes. Making mistakes is okay. Everyone makes mistakes. When you make a mistake, you learn. You can ask your teacher, friends, or family for help. They will help you and tell you how to say things correctly. Do not be shy. Speak English as much as you can. The more you speak, the better you will get. Sixth, think in English. This is very important. When you think in English, you will speak better. You can start with small things. For example, when you see a chair, you can think, this is a chair. When you see a book, you can think, this is a book. When you are hungry, you can think, I am hungry. When you are tired, you can think, I am tired. When you think in English, it will be easier to speak English. Seventh, learn new words every day. Learning new words is very important. When you know more words, you can say more things. You can use a dictionary to learn new words and write them in a notebook. You can try to use the new words in sentences. This will help you remember the new words. Eighth, speak slowly. When you speak slowly, it is easier to say the words correctly. It is also easier for people to understand you. Do not speak too fast. Take your time, think about what you want to say, and then say it slowly. Ninth, join an English class. Taking a class is very helpful. You can learn many things in an English class, such as new words and how to make sentences. You can practice speaking with your classmates and ask your teacher questions. Your teacher can help you with your speaking. 10th, have fun. Learning English should be fun. When you have fun, you will want to learn more. You can play games in English, sing songs in English, watch funny movies in English, and talk to your friends in English. When you have fun, you will learn better. 11th, use technology. Today, we have many tools to help us learn English. You can use apps on your phone. Many apps can help you practice speaking English, learn new words, and work on pronunciation. You can also use the internet to find websites, watch videos on YouTube, and take online courses. Technology is very helpful for learning English. 12th, make English-speaking friends. Having friends who speak English is very helpful. You can practice speaking with them, and they can help you with your mistakes and teach you new words. You can learn about their culture and how people speak English in different countries. Making friends who speak English can be very fun and helpful. 13th, watch English news. Watching the news is a good way to learn English. You can learn about what is happening in the world, new words, and how people speak in different situations. You can watch news on TV or the internet. Watching the news can help you improve your English. 14th, join an English speaking club. Many places have clubs where people meet to speak English. You can join these clubs to meet new people, practice speaking with them, and learn from them. Joining an English-speaking club is a good way to practice and improve your English. 15th, travel to English-speaking countries. Traveling is a great way to improve your English. When you travel, you have to speak English. You have to talk to people in hotels, restaurants, and shops, ask for directions, and communicate with people. Traveling to English-speaking countries can be very fun and helpful. 16th, use flashcards. Flashcards are a good way to learn new words. You can make flashcards with new words. Write the word on one side and the meaning on the other side. You can look at the flashcards every day and practice saying the words. Flashcards are very helpful for learning new words. 17th, record yourself speaking. Recording yourself is a good way to practice. You can listen to yourself, hear your mistakes, and understand how you sound. You can practice saying the words correctly and ask your friends or teacher to listen to your recording. They can help you with your mistakes. Recording yourself is very helpful for improving your English. 18th, mimic native speakers. Mimicking is a good way to learn how to speak. You can listen to native speakers and try to speak like them. You can copy their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. Mimicking native speakers can help you sound more natural when you speak English. 19th, read aloud. Reading aloud is very helpful. When you read aloud, you practice speaking. You can hear how the words sound, practice your pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. Reading aloud is a very good way to improve your speaking. 20th, practice with a partner. Having a partner to practice with is very helpful. You can practice speaking with your partner, help each other with mistakes, learn from each other, practice conversations, and practice asking and answering questions. Practicing with a partner is a good way to improve your English. 21st, use a mirror. Speaking in front of a mirror can help you. You can see yourself when you speak, see your mouth and how you say the words. You can practice your facial expressions and gestures. Using a mirror can help you improve your speaking. 22nd, participate in online forums. Online forums are a good place to practice English. You can join forums where people discuss different topics, read what other people write your own comments, ask questions, and answer questions. Participating in online forums can help you practice writing and improve your vocabulary. 23rd, write scripts for conversations. Writing scripts can help you prepare for conversations. You can write down what you want to say, write different responses, and practice the script by saying it out loud. Writing scripts can help you feel more confident when speaking. 24th, Learn about different cultures. Learning about cultures can help you understand how people use English. You can learn about customs, traditions, how people greet each other, and how people talk in different situations. Learning about cultures can help you communicate better. 25th, set goals. Setting goals is very important. You should set small goals. For example, you can set a goal to learn 5 new words every day. You can set a goal to practice speaking for 10 minutes every day. You can set a goal to read 1 book every month. Setting goals can help you stay motivated. 26th, reward yourself. When you reach your goals, you should reward yourself. This can help you stay motivated. For example, if you learn 5 new words every day for a week, you can reward yourself with a treat. If you practice speaking every day for a month, you can reward yourself with something you like. Rewarding yourself can make learning English more fun. 27th, be patient. Learning a new language takes time. You need to be patient. You will not become fluent in one day. You need to practice every day and keep trying. You will make mistakes, and this is okay. Do not give up. Be patient and keep practicing. 28th, use English in your daily life. Try to use English as much as you can. You can write your shopping list in English, write your notes in English, talk to your pets in English, and think in English. Using English in your daily life will help you improve. 29th, find a language exchange partner. A language exchange partner is someone who wants to learn your language. You can help each other. You can speak in English for some time, then speak in your language. This way, both of you can learn. A language exchange partner can help you practice speaking and improve your English. 30th, join online language learning communities. There are many online communities where people learn languages. You can join these communities to meet people who want to learn English. You can practice speaking with them, ask questions, and share tips. Joining online language learning communities can be very helpful. 31st, take advantage of language exchange apps. There are many apps that help people learn languages. You can use these apps to find language exchange partners, practice speaking, and learn new words. Language exchange apps can be very helpful for improving your English. 32nd, participate in English-speaking events. Many places have events where people speak English, such as meetups, discussion groups, and language cafes. You can join these events to practice speaking with others, meet new people, and learn new things. Participating in English-speaking events can help you improve your speaking. 33rd, study English grammar. Grammar is very important for speaking English. When you know grammar, you can make correct sentences. You can study grammar books, take online courses, and ask your teacher for help. Studying grammar can help you speak correctly. 34th, improve your pronunciation. Pronunciation is very important for speaking English. When you pronounce words correctly, people can understand you better. You can use online tools, apps, and ask your teacher for help. Improving your pronunciation can help you sound better. 35th, focus on fluency. Fluency is very important for speaking English. You should practice speaking smoothly without stopping too much. You can practice speaking with a partner, reading aloud, and thinking in English. Focusing on fluency can help you speak more naturally. 36th, use language learning apps. Many apps help people learn languages. You can use these apps to practice speaking, learn new words, and improve your pronunciation. Language learning apps can be very helpful for improving your English. 37th, take online courses. Many online courses help people learn English. You can take these courses to learn new things, practice speaking, and improve your skills. Online courses can be very helpful for improving your English. 38th, participate in language exchange programs. Language exchange programs are programs where people learn each other's languages. You can join these programs to practice speaking, meet new people, and learn about different cultures. Participating in language exchange programs can be very helpful for improving your English. 39th, practice speaking on the phone. Speaking on the phone can be difficult, but it is very helpful. You can practice talking to your friends, family, and language exchange partners on the phone. Practicing speaking on the phone can help you improve your speaking. 40th, take part in English-speaking webinars. Many webinars are in English. You can join these webinars to learn new things, practice listening, and improve your speaking. Taking part in English-speaking webinars can help you improve your English. 41st, join English-speaking social media groups. Many social media groups help people learn English. You can join these groups to practice speaking, ask questions, and share tips. Joining English-speaking social media groups can be very helpful for improving your English. 42nd, practice speaking in different situations. Practicing speaking in different situations is very helpful. You can practice speaking in a restaurant, at a store, and with a friend. Practicing speaking in different situations can help you feel more confident. 43rd, use English subtitles. Watching movies and TV shows with English subtitles is very helpful. You can listen to what people say and read the subtitles at the same time. This can help you learn new words, how to say them, and how to make sentences. Using English subtitles can help you improve your English. 44th, use English-speaking apps. Many apps help people practice speaking English. You can use these apps to talk to native speakers, learn new words, and improve your pronunciation. Using English-speaking apps can be very helpful for improving your English. 45th, watch English documentaries. Watching documentaries is a good way to learn English. You can learn about different topics, new words, and how people speak in different situations. Watching English documentaries can help you improve your English. 46th, learn English idioms and phrases. Idioms and phrases are very important for speaking English. When you know idioms and phrases, you can understand what people mean and speak more naturally. You can learn idioms and phrases from books, apps, and your teacher. Learning idioms and phrases can help you speak better. 47th, practice speaking in front of a camera. Speaking in front of a camera is a good way to practice. You can record yourself speaking, watch the recording, and see your mistakes. You can practice saying the words correctly and ask your friends or teacher for help. Practicing speaking in front of a camera can be very helpful for improving your English. 48th, use English in your hobbies. Using English in your hobbies is a good way to practice. For example, if you like cooking, you can read recipes in English and cook in English. If you like sports, you can watch sports in English and talk about sports in English. Using English in your hobbies can make learning English more fun. 49th, learn English through songs. Songs are a fun way to learn English. You can listen to English songs, learn the lyrics, and sing along. This can help you learn new words, practice pronunciation, and improve your speaking.
You're the light, you're the night, you're the color of my blood. You're the cure, you're the pain, you're the only thing I wanna touch. Never knew that it could mean so much, so much. You're the fear, I don't care, 'cause I've never been so high. Follow me through the dark, let me take you past the satellites. You can see the world you brought to life, to life. So love me like you do, la la, love me like you do. Love me like you do, la la, love me like you do. Touch me like you do, ta ta, touch me like you do. What are you waiting for? Fading in, fading out, on the edge of paradise. Every inch of your skin is a holy grail I've gotta find. Only you can set my heart on fire, on fire. Yeah, I'll let you set the pace, 'cause I'm not thinking straight. My head's spinning around, I can't see clear no more. What are you waiting for? Love me like you do, love me like you do, like you do. Love me like you do, love me like you do. Touch me like you do, touch me like you do. What are you waiting for? Love me like you do, love me like you do, like you do. Love me like you do, love me like you do. Yeah, touch me like you do, touch me like you do. What are you waiting for? I'll let you set the pace, 'cause I'm not thinking straight. My head's spinning around, I can't see clear no more. What are you waiting for? Love me like you do, love me like you do, like you do. Love me like you do, love me like you do. Yeah, touch me like you do, touch me like you do. What are you waiting for? Love me like you do, love There goes my heart beating, 'cause you are the reason I'm losing my sleep. Please come back now. There goes my mind racing, and you are the reason that I'm still breathing. I'm hopeless now. I'd climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you to see that you are the reason. There goes my hands shaking, and you are the reason my heart keeps bleeding. I need you now. If I could turn back the clock, I'd make sure the light defeated the dark. I'd spend every hour of every day keeping you safe. I'd climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you to see that you are the reason. You are the reason. I need you to hold me tonight. I'd climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. 'Cause I need you to see that you are the reason. Maybe it's the way you say my name. Maybe it's the way you play your game. But it's so good. I've never known anybody like you. But it's so good. I've never dreamed of nobody like you. And I've heard of a love that comes once in a lifetime, and I'm pretty sure that you are that love of mine. 'Cause I'm in a field of dandelions, wishing on everyone that you would be mine, mine. And I see forever in your eyes. I feel okay when I see you smile. That you are the one for me, 'cause it gets so hard to breathe when you're looking at me. I've never felt so alive and free. When you're looking at me, I've never felt so happy. And I've heard of a love that comes once in a lifetime, and I'm pretty sure that you are that love of mine. 'Cause I'm in a field of dandelions, wishing on everyone that you'd be mine, mine. And I see forever in your eyes. I feel okay when I see you smile, smile. Wishing on dandelions all of the time, praying to God that one day you'll be mine. Wishing on dandelions all of the time, all of the time. Dandelion, into the wind you go, won't you let my darling know? Dandelion, into the wind you go, won't you let my darling know that I'm in a field of dandelions, wishing on everyone that you would be mine. Oh, and I see forever in your eyes. I feel okay when I see you smile, smile. Wishing on dandelions all of the time, praying to God that one day you'll be mine. Wishing on dandelions all of the time, all of the time. I'm in a field of dandelions, wishing on everyone that you'd be mine, mine.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes, so that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. I tried carrying the weight of the world, but I only have two hands. Hope I get the chance to travel the world, but I don't have any plans. Wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game made for everyone, and love is the prize. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was
frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be away in my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I wish I knew